Petrol heads, piston heads, gearheads. Which one are you? Or are you any of them? Stay tuned and find out. Hi, my name's Andy, this is the Q4 channel, and once again I'm talking from the shed. A warm shed this time. I got myself one of the conversion heaters because, to be honest with you, it was getting really cold in here. I mean, it is December after all. Anyway, before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much to all of you who've already subscribed to this channel. It means so much to me, it really does. I'm surprised, 20 subscribers already. I never thought I was going to get 5, never mind about 20. So I just want to thank you all, it really does mean a lot, I do appreciate it. But if you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, do it now, why not? Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon, that way you won't miss out on future content. And as always, if you want to, leave a comment down below and a like. So, petrol heads, piston heads, gearheads. Most people think they're the same thing, but they're not really. They are 3 distinct groups. So which one do you fall into? Well, I personally fall into the first category. I am a petrol head. You see, in my opinion, a petrol head is somebody who just loves driving. And that's me. I just love driving. I just love driving vehicles. I don't care what they are. I don't care if it's petrol or diesel. I don't care if it's a low cc or a high cc. I don't care if it's left-hand drive, right-hand drive. I don't care if it's a sports car, a saloon, a van, a lawnmower, a dump truck. I'm not really caring. I just love driving. And that's why I'm a petrol head, because I love driving. Now, don't get me wrong. If something's got 8 cylinders in a V formation and goes like stink, well, I like driving that more than a 3-cylinder little pop-pop. But I do love driving both of them. That's why I do the job that I do, which is a test driver, because I love driving. So I get the chance to jump in all sorts of different vehicles, from the family saloon to a supercar or a top-end luxury vehicle, and drive them. Admittedly, I am testing them at the same time. I'm not just driving them for fun, otherwise I wouldn't be driving them in the style I've been asked to drive them. No, I'm testing the vehicles, but I still get to drive them. And because I love driving, I love my job. So that's the first time. That's the petrol head. So what's the difference between a petrol head and, say, a piston head? Well, a piston head also loves driving, but the difference between a petrol head and a piston head is a piston head loves all of the minutiae, all of that detail that you get about vehicles. They want to know what brake horsepower it is, what its 0 to 60 rate is, what it's stopping, what its miles per gallon are. They want to know all of that minutiae, all of the statistics about that vehicle. And they'll remember them as well. If you get into a conversation with a piston head and you're talking about the difference between this vehicle and that vehicle, they'll be able to rattle off all of the stats about the 2 vehicles and which they think is the best, and where one falls down and the other one picks up, but where that one is better than this, all by the statistics. So that's the difference between a petrol head and a piston head. Petrol head loves the driving experience. Piston head enjoys driving, maybe even loves it, but at the same time they want to know all of the stats about all of the vehicles, not just any vehicle. So that's the first two, petrol head and piston head. So what about a gearhead? Well, the gearhead are a little bit different than the other two. They might enjoy driving, and they usually do. But what they love more than anything else is actually working on a vehicle. They're tinkerers. They love stripping vehicles down. They love working on the vehicles. They're more happy than a pig in muck when they're up to their elbows in grease, smudged all over them, and they've just managed to rip an engine out of the car. That's the proper gearhead. Those are the sort of people that you will find that do a lot of restoration work. They're the ones that will buy something that looks like it's ready for the scrap heap. They'll take it home, and it might take them years to do, but they'll slowly in their spare time as a hobby strip that vehicle down, have it down to its component parts, clean it, put it back together, replacing worn for new or as new as they can. And that's another thing with the gearhead. They love going to these swap meet type places where they can go with other gearheads and find that little piece of something for their antique car or car that is no longer in production, and find the piece to replace it. That hunt is like a proper hunter going out and shooting an animal. These are going out and hunting down that piece of spare part that is in some obscure garage somewhere, and they'll spend hours after getting this talking with the person about the car that they're restoring. So a gearhead is slightly different to the petrolhead and the piston head in the fact that they might enjoy driving, because after they've restored this vehicle they may not keep it for that. Drive it a few times and even take it to a few shows and show it off, so they really can get with other gearheads and they'll talk about how much it took to restore it and the time it took and how difficult parts were to get hold of for it. But the three categories, your petrolhead, pistonhead and gearhead, have one thing all in common. That's their love of cars. You see, as a petrolhead, although I love driving, I also love cars, because without cars, how am I going driving? And again, with your pistonhead, he loves all the statistics and also enjoys driving, but how's he going to get statistics if there are no cars? And again, with your gearhead, what's he going to restore if he isn't restoring cars? So the three of us can sit around a pub table, have a pint in our hands, and we'll get on like a house on fire. We're all slightly different, but we've got that common interest that we love cars. We're really annoyed by that, well, you know the type I'm talking about, big floppy hair, usually got a big beard, tight clothes. You think to himself, oh, he looks like a manly man. And then he starts talking and he's saying things like, oh yeah, well, the internal combustion engine is the reason why the planet's dying, whilst he's got his app open looking to order an Uber. Oh yeah, he hates cars, more likely he can't afford one, doesn't know how to drive, but the only reason he hates cars is because that could be his talking point. He doesn't hate them enough not to get in them and be taken places in them. No, he's not that much of a purist, basically a faker. Whereas we are at least honest about our love of cars. We can sit around a group of us and we'll be talking about our experiences with cars. I'm quite happy to talk to a gearhead. I'm not mechanically minded, to be honest with you. I know my way around a car, and by doing my job for nearly 20 years and growing up in the garage industry, you can't not pick a lot up by osmosis. So yeah, I can work on my own car and I can do repairs and such like. I can change brakes and put on new tyres and do an oil change and oil filter change. I can do the usual running gear stuff. But I'm not into that. I'm not a gearhead. But I can talk with a gearhead and he'll tell me about doing the car. I'll be more interested in the car itself and interested in what he's going to be doing with the car once it's finished. And the same with a petrolhead. I can talk a certain amount of statistics with it because, again, doing the job I do, you can't help but know certain statistics about the cars you're testing. And of course, his interest with me will be, if I'm talking about a test I'm doing with him, I'm saying, oh, I'm testing a certain car. His interest isn't in the car so much as, oh, what changes have they made from the last car? The statistics of the last car. Is it still a this? Is it still a that? Is it still a V8? Is it still a 4-cylinder? Have they done this? Have they done that? What change have they made? These are the things. Well, I can't really tell him that. But at the same time, that's where his interest is. So we can spend hours talking about different vehicles and talking about the cars themselves. So we three groups can get on happily with each other because we all love cars. So which one do you fall into? Well, leave it down in the comment below. Tell me, are you a petrol head, a piston head, or a gearhead? Maybe you're one of those strange hybrids, because if you were to draw a Venn diagram of the three types, there is always going to be absolute overlap between 2 or 3 of those groups. You might be, I don't know, a petrol piston head. You might call yourself a petrol gearhead, or a piston gearhead, or you might be that rarity that just falls in that centre of a Venn diagram where you are a petrol piston gearhead. So leave down in the comments below, which one do you think you fall into? Like I said, I'm happy to admit, hand up, that I am a full-on petrol head. I love driving. But you might be, I don't know, a piston gearhead? You might love driving, but at the same time you love tinkering. So, like I said, leave a comment down below, tell me which one you're, or tell me if you totally disagree with my analogy of the 3 groups, that you think it's something else. I'm not going to be offended. We all have our own opinion. This is just mine. Anyway, let's have a little bit of humour. So this guy's been on a business trip and he decides to phone home. So he phones the house phone and he's hears it ringing. Then this little voice goes, "Hello?" He goes, "Hello, son." He goes, "It's your dad." He goes, "Hello, Daddy. Are you okay?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm great, son." He says, "Can you get your mum for me quick? I need to have a word with her." He goes, "I can't, Daddy. I've been told not to disturb them." He goes, "Them? Who? Why?" He goes, "Well, Mummy's upstairs in bedroom with Uncle Frank." He goes, "My brother." "Right, son, I want you to do something for me. Put the phone on the side. I want you to run up the stairs and I want you to bang on the bedroom door and say, 'Daddy's just phoned. He'll be at home in 5 minutes.' And then I want you to come back downstairs and I want you to tell me what happened." He goes, "Okay, Daddy." And he puts the phone down, runs upstairs. He can hear the clatter, bang, bang, bang. After a few minutes, the phone's picked up again and the little voice goes, "He was ever so funny, Daddy." He goes, "Really? What happened, son?" He goes, "Oh, well, when I said what you told me to say on the bedroom door," he says, "there was a lot of shouting and movement, and then Uncle Frank came bursting out, and he only had his underpants on, Daddy. It was so funny. And he ran down the stairs, but he tripped at the top, and he fell all the way down the stairs, and he landed at the bottom of the stairs, and now he's just laying there, and his head's at a funny angle and he's not moving. It was so funny, Daddy." He goes, "Really? What else happened?" He goes, and then Mum came out and she screamed because she saw Uncle Frank at the bottom of the stairs, and she came running down the stairs and she tripped on the bottom step and tripped over Uncle Frank. She went straight through the patio windows and now and now she's laying in the swimming pool and she's not moving, Daddy. It's so funny." He goes, "Swimming pool? Is this 537924? It was wrong. Anyway, as always, you folks out there, be happy, be healthy, but above all else, look after yourself. Because if you don't, who will? Goodbye now.
I'm a simple man, don't want a complication.